Okie dokie. Let's see y'all. Okay. Apologize for the noise. That's all up over here. Woo. Now let's see here. Is that button? Okay. That is what it is. Oh, one thing I opened this earlier that I didn't love. Here and I think about it. Makes sense. It would be fluffier area. If it was a little fluffier. Also, I adjusted my pins 100% sure. Now this is gonna kind of look when we're all 7 down here, but probably should have waited till after this to adjust my pins up. After I finished it. Okay. But I think, yeah, the tail makes sense, so we're gonna leave it alone. We're gonna leave it alone. Okay, it is separate. That here, we can merge this. No. Keep it. And we can merge it with the head. I like the shape of the head. Merge that. New layer. So on this layer, I'm going to do little puffs. And some neck. So I guess like technically that's a mane. I don't really know. Let's drop it down to 10 because it's kind of inside. Alright. Let's see how. I really should have left it. Yeah, opacity. And there's some. Okay. You like it? It's funky. I don't know. I don't think I adjusted it that much. Okay, I did pull. Do that for right now. I think that's closer to what it was. All right. Oh no, I don't think I might have. Was I that far? Oh no, I was up. Oops. Up here. I was kind of up there. I need just the others. Right there. Let's check. This is where it gets a little funky. I think we might have gotten it back-ish. I apologize. This is where it gets, like I said, a little funky. Well, on the ugly side, I don't care for it that much. Okay, so because I've messed with this and I didn't really think about it, basically just gonna have to go down in brush size and just make everything kind of work this way. Okay, so that's not too bad. And I'll adjust thicknesses on things again. Alright, so that's not terrible. I'm gonna go another layer so I don't have to worry about it too much. Makes it a little easier to kind of go where I want to do thickness. Do probably. Okay. right. Okay, so that's going to be one problem. Not the best bet. Not the best at tapering. So. But I also don't want to just I understand it's a soft liner brush, but it's not. Like dropping opacity as much as I can. Alright, so I think okay, so that's looking pretty good. I would have. Is that still separate? Yes, cool. That is. Alright. Like that. Oh. Alright, so here we are. Two. Alright. So that's not too bad. Okay. Merge those together. Start a new buff ball right here. Just gonna kind of similar setup. Like that. Maybe, I don't know. I think it's good. So do and kind of go in, shape points, and then I'll go in. And thicken everything up. This way. Yeah, that's better. That way it doesn't look like it's just kind of under everything. Thicken that part. And I think we'll just kind of thicken the bits on there. Right. Okay, now go in. Okay. one thing to think about if you're doing this when you're setting up line thickness is where you want it to be thick and thin. Important little details to consider. Like on a curve, you can kind of make it a little bit thicker, and then certain areas you just want it to be thin. I don't know. Pretty straightforward, I guess, in that sense. I want to know when it became okay for people to just text you. Like random, do this survey. Help the state or whatever. No, leave me alone. Okay. So yeah, so you'll notice I'll try and kind of thicken these curves and then taper it back down on the points here a little bit, at least. Not like crazy, but that's how I tend to make decisions on my thickness of the line. Is does it make sense to me that it thickens up there or not? And that is going to be entirely subjective. Some people will think that's too thick, not thick enough, putting it in the wrong spot, blah 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 blah. Entirely up to you. So, just remember, when it comes down to it, you made it, your decision. They don't like it, that's on them. Alright. And if you don't like it, change it. Hey, big deal. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Alright, and we'll just go in and we're going to, the same way, add last one right here. We'll just throw it right there. Back up here, picking that up a bit. Too much. Too close, I think, right there. So if we zoom out, yeah, that might be a little bit too close, so we could shift it. Grab it, drag it over a smidge to kind of eliminate that tangent situation we were having. And right, so it's still only able to trace on one layer at a time, I think. At least it was for me. Alright, so that's all set up. Okay, I did want to fix that one part of the ear here and here. Right there. Get to that in a second. Okay, so there's these. This. Two. Get in here. I really messed with sensitivity. I used to have to actually kind of press down. Now it feels like I don't at all. Which is nice, but it's throwing off kind of the look. I didn't have it set that way before, so now it... Right now, this is looking super one note of the Flareon line art. adjust some of that. But for right now, worry about his line art. Finish the Eevee up here. Literally just eyes, nose, mouth. Our left here. Then we can kind of worry about the line art on the outside. All right. Okay. Good. So we're just going to merge these together. New layer. Even though I could get away with not doing that because this isn't going to touch anything. It's yeah, see, I have it set so I wish I go back and fix it. I mean, I do want to adjust the way my brush settings are, but right at this point, I just have to kind of live with what I've done. I can fix it before I start my next section. All right. Wait. I'm gonna slide this. Hold on. We'll roll with that for now. Sure, they did not touch it. Dang. Bump this down. All right, one more time. Let's try this. Jack, done. Okay, so that's closer to it. Okay. Okay. Now let's adjust the brush size. Okay. See, it just. Okay. It's fine. Again, I've made this bed. Lie in it for now. Worry about fixing it after this is kind of done. Okay. That's not too bad. duplicate that. And it here. What about there? We're copy and grab a bit. It's slightly, like I said, it's going to be a little off. So then then in the smear, like an 8 for whatever reason, working a little better. That way. That's pretty close to where that should be. Back to the pin here. Paper that pin there. And here. So I think that was pretty solid. We're just going to merge those. Yeah, I think that looks correct. About as correct as it can. Alright, so back down to this layer. Here. 15. Alright, 2. Move. This one. I'm gonna kind of go in, try, add a little bit of thickness. So that is back down to here. This. shape this line a little bit. Not perfect. A stretch. It helps give it a little bit more. Alright. And this will come. There we go. I don't want it to be quite this lumpy. A little bit smoother now. That's the other thing I would like to kind of a little bit smoother line going. I think stabilization's a 4, so I mean, I bump it up. And most of the time, it's not that I make these like bad. Strokes or anything. It's some of it is literally like the diagonal likes to wobble. Anyway, let's see. So here, this one. So sometimes it's literally just seems at least impossible to get a smooth line, and it depends on which direction you're going and stuff like that. But definitely feels more difficult. Here. And kind of push it on these curves. Let's rotate that. Get the curve a little bit easier. Okay. Pushing it. That's one thing to think about too, is how do you feel when you push and pull certain strokes? Is it more comfortable for you to pull a curve, push a curve, pull a line, push a line? Like a straight line. I think it's easier to push a straight line and pull a curve, but it's just kind of depends. Certain angles are just going to be a little funky, so that's why I like to have the rotate, so I can kind of adjust, get where I want with my hand being as comfortable as possible. All things to kind of think about while you're working. Like, is my hand comfortable? And if your hand is not comfortable, you might want to consider adjusting how you're working, because your hand or your arm is uncomfortable, that's going to be a bad thing long term. yeah, so be bad. Long term, no good if you're straining. Sometimes like you just are kind of stuck with where you're physically at. That's one thing that I really liked about my last tablet is it had touch controls. This one does not. This one's a newer one, but it doesn't have those touch controls that the old tablet I had. So just things to consider, or not even, it didn't have touch controls, but it did have the buttons on the side. So now I have a little keypad wheel that I can use for adjusting the brush size and stuff like that. But yeah, if you have a tablet with touch control, like or touch ability, that's definitely a positive. If you're using a screen tablet, if you're not, I've seen some incredible art made without ever having a screen. Some people prefer it just because they didn't really have the option back in the day. I mean, it was there if you had like a studio budget, like a big animation studio budget kind of thing, but not for your everyday home artist, unless you were, like I said, had that kind of crazy budget. So people just kind of got used to not looking where their hand was. Pretty notable one would be oh man, I used to watch this video all the time. In my head. Anyway, he used to work with like Epic and League of Legends and stuff like that. Can kill. Think of Ian Lafferty. There we go. Ian Lafferty. I don't know if it's still true. But he pretty much just used like a little bamboo, like the small one, because he didn't like raining over and like looking at the display. But he just kind of, and I think it initially started out of necessity, like, hey, I can't really afford fancy display tablet, but then it became a choice when he got bigger, more money. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't think but he's like a professional, really strong professional artist who, at least to when I was watching his videos, did not use a display tablet. Okay, so that I don't like that at all. Okay, so let's go here, bring this down. Yeah, I think I just made that a bit too thick. That one's already pretty thick. Okay, that's why. Let's undo this. Let's just itch that one. We'll need it there. Too much. There we go. Okay. So look at this. I think that makes a significant difference. I think we're good. So we just kind of move the next portion of this, which the flat colors will merge these together. All right, so now we're gonna do the flat color in here. Let's just bump this size. Yeah, 50. Okay, we need to on the tool here. And okay, keep that. Yes. Okay, so then invert that back down to make mask. Oh, all right. So now we've got the mask set for. I guess it depends. We can go a little bit brighter. Oops. Yeah, let's start with that. And one nice thing about a little bit thicker line art is it makes it a little bit easier to stay inside the lines. But again, you don't have to. It is. And you could also set things up a certain way, but like so it doesn't become an issue. Select each little individual section of things if that's how you want to do it. Things like that. I'm gonna go over lines with this initial pass. Oh man. Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do, because I don't like, got the wand here. It's slightly outside of the area. I'm going to invert this and I'm going to expand it by, I'll just do 2 pixels. So that'll bring that line in, the edge in, so I don't get this side here. Now, here, got my brush, pen, sorry. I'm just going to go zoom out, and I'm going to hit all this on the outside here, so we do not get that little haloing orange, theoretically, or whatever color is good at the end. And now the only color down is the orange, so that's what I'm going. I'm just adjusting the mask right now. Okay, getting in here, I think we're good now. At least we should be. then no, let's go here. Eraser still on brush size and that. Cool. All right. Back to my pen. Drawing layer here and we went. Oh yeah, because I shrunk it. Yeah. Okay. Now we're good. I'm just gonna overshoot because yeah, here we go. Kind of run into little spots where you miss color and stuff like that. I'm just gonna avoid that by hammering the edges a little bit extra. Last thing I want is gaps. This is one way to avoid that, like overpaint, at least on this first layer. And I mean, you could always kind of sections unless this, oh wait, yeah, I'm doing that wrong. That shouldn't be that color. It's I was going kind of crazy there. I was coloring in the wrong section. That tail is not this color. And then yeah, when I'm finished with my flats, I will adjust the line art color, which I like to do after I've done everything. It makes it feel different and interesting while it's happening. So let's go. Bright yellow. I'm gonna do this a little bit more saturated. Good chunk of the official art. There are some that are in this realm of saturation, but this is just a super happy Flareon, so it's going to be a little bit more saturated. I do believe that is an actual mechanic. Should I think it will. Could be very rough. Could be right. And one reason go back and adjust the color of the line art is it helps me see where I missed things. And I think the black line art is nice. I like purple when I'm setting everything up. I don't know why. Just a color I like. I don't remember if I like when I was starting watch tutorials, maybe someone was shooting purple. I don't know. You never know. I've been doing this so long, I literally can't remember. I watched thousands of tutorials. Many amazing artists. But it's just one of those things where it's something I picked up somewhere along the way and I've stuck to it. Just the way I do things now. Okay, so let's go. Fix these like oversprays now. Just that little bit there, so let's go here real quick. Here. Yeah, so there's definitely spots that I'm going in. That's line art of artifacts I'm seeing, which will become even more apparent once I get to them. Alright, so then for here. We'll do it. Here. Might have gone outside the line there. Maybe, no. Face on the opposite direction. Alright, so now we need right there. Yeah, work. Wish the ears were a little bit cleaner. Not too bad. Going over here. Right around there. Cool. Okay. And things right now. Alright, let's drop the brush in. There's pretty much like a million different ways to set up your flat color, but this is how I tend to do it. Which is one of the longer ways, I guess. But, you know. It works. It's fine. Take your time, do things the way that you want. If you want to figure out a faster way, absolutely go for it. What you could also do is like outline everything and blast it with a paint bucket, with a fill tool, whatever you want to call it. The best way to do that though would have anti-aliasing off on your color brush and the paint fill or fill tool, whatever, paint bucket. Because if you don't have the off, it will leave a little halo. I'll just do it right here real quick and show you. In case you are wondering, it doesn't help that this brush has like a opacity taper too. So if I hit that, see it leaves like a halo. So if you have anti-aliasing completely off on both, it will not do that. We'll fill all the way to that pixel and you're good to go. And if you're just doing flat colors, you really don't need anti-aliasing on. It's just on the brush that I have, that I use. Is I think these are gonna basically, no, 10. And black, when I'm using it to fill in, it's not full black, it's like really dark gray. For my line art, here, lock the pixel on this real quick, so that allows me to draw only where there are already pixels on that layer. So I can do this, change the color of line art really easily. You can tell this changes the look of everything very quickly. You have to do the same thing for that. That is on a separate layer. I wasn't 100% sure about it. Another thing I always miss, some tiny spot at the very least when I'm doing this. I'll just kind of, this at least gets me started, and then after everything's done, I'll go back and adjust things, see them, fix them. So, and rather than like go back and forth on, oh, I'm gonna use the eraser and all that for these, I do paint with transparency instead, which just uses the brush that you're using as quote-unquote an eraser. A little bit faster, unless you specifically want a different erase. I'm using a pencil and I don't want kind of and forever trying to erase section. You can just use the actual eraser. We cleaned up. Okay. So real quick, I'm going to unlock the pixels on it, switch over, and get it to white. Alright, cool. Lock the pixels back up. So we've done a black color. Solid work. Now we need to do our background. I need to figure out colors and stuff for that. That's going to be fun. But I'm going to need to take a quick little break. I will be right back. I apologize. I'll be back. We're better. Alright, so yeah, we are going to alright, so okay. This color. This. I can see. All right, and then color. Brush size. Okay. One more. Okay. I think that's good. this. Once we're done with this, we'll end up underneath. The rug, once I'm finished with it. This one on, and maybe alright, so rug comes up, merge together. Okay. All purple side. Okay, then the fireplace. Which will be I think that'll work. Base, its own color here. zone. That was pretty fascinating. Color is always fun because it changes color depending on where it's at. What it's next to. Let's see. Let's grab it. Pretty much fine. Yeah. We can kind of get a little bit more rigid if we want to. I think we're all right. So let's go here. Reddish, orange, plain. Pink. Too bad. And let's get in here. Brush side. Go for okay. And on here. Just that one. Here. Like that. A little bit more of life out of this. This is some of the nicest fire I've ever done. Very, very happy. Just so everyone knows. So now, what I'm going to do here, magic bam, invert that. So it's 20. Here. Like that. Trinket again. 20. Okay, so do that one more time. Oh, I did that. I don't necessarily want to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw that down. Okay. Yeah. Like this real quick. That down. It. I really like this style. I think. That guy. This one. Here. Bam. Bam. What you could also do, obviously, would be to use the lasso tool and just draw your shape, and then fill it with the paint tool if that's what you want to do. Obviously, this is very subjective. Attempting to kind of mimic the shape, but not exact. So when there's no trunk that does it, a thing, and painted it, which doesn't make sense to me. I'll take that. And look at the bit right. We'll go brighter. That's good. Just gonna hit it with a little bit brighter white, yellow color. All right, and then maybe I'll have to put. I'll have to put in a log and kind of loop. And one more layer. Shove it real quick. That's what this down. Here. This down. Okay. Here. Alright, that's fine. Back up here. This color. Get in here. That one got there. Okay. And all right. I think I need to lose the. How is that? That's better, but once I throw that there, that might. One more. So I might have to that stuff around a bit, but in there, here. Here. Like this brush. I'm gonna stick with this brush. Pull it back. To give things a bit of a texture. Going on. Okay. Making pretty solid progress. Now, got essentially everything kind of locked down. Here, okay, let's go. We're just gonna. There's darker. There we go. Share. Actually, there. Almost there. So many layers right now. Let's bring this back. Something off of my grid that I half-heartedly set up, which is whatever. I grab 4 lines. Shift to this match. I think that fix it. That color. Here. Right. Here. Okay, so I think that kind of covers all the bits. Hey! Yeah, no problem. Welcome, welcome. Fortunately, we're getting close to the end of this one, but yeah, glad to hear you've been drawing forever. Yeah, same. I've been drawing since I was a little kid. I am much older. Yeah, it's super cool. I hope you keep it up. Nice. Yeah, I mean, someone's got to do it, you know? Gotta make stuff. Not quite what I'm looking for. That might be good for actually. I could get that real quick since we got it. What I'm gonna do for the rod is pull this path around. And one more circular motion. Let's do not exactly. It'd be better if I was better at it. But it's got like somewhat of a whoop. That there. Or like a rug texture to it. Just on like 2. Okay, like that. Tilt, I guess. No. I thought maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we could do that. Gives that a little bit of texture. We could do that same kind of thing with the floor. Look to it. If we're going to do that, I should probably not do that on the rug. Undo the rug. I like it. Let's hit that. Find better. Actually, that would be a nice order for the yeah, let's just throw that on the border deal. Get if I can follow that line. There we go. Okay, let's bump the size of the brush up here. Actually, just hit like that. That's whoops. Okay, there we go. There. Alright, we'll hit that. And then we'll go and do that. Hope if I have the right colors. Alright. It's a little bit more subtle that way, that's good. Right down here. Here, grab that color. Here. Oops. Now, back over here. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. That will be better. Okay. Well, got that. Got the rug kind of figured out. We can do this. Wish it was a little bit more. Oh, wait, we could do quick. That'll work. We'll call it here. Okay. Oh, I'm all right. Ooh, that helps. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little edge on that. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks pretty good. Roguelike. Throw a little bit underneath that. Underneath. Oh, whoops. And never mind. And there. Undid it. Okay. So let's see. That's need to slide over a smidge. Here. Here. Okay. Won't cut them. We'll put it right there for right now. We'll have to go back in. That's not here. So, there we go. All right, so let's see. Kind of set up. We're probably gonna adjust the colors, background a smidge at some point. I might use the hue. Bit crazy. Well, let's go here. I want that to be a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit more normal in the coloring. No, there is way more. Here we go. And saturation. A little bit more normal. So if I slow this one this way. Go that way. Makes a little bit more sense, I think. Okay, that's not too bad. Here. And this one, pixels and choose. Grab that. And put the brush up. And I could go a little bit darker, probably. Just right. There we go. That's the correct contrast. Trying to do over 400. See that. This side. I think. Oops. And make that same thing. Doesn't make sense. Do it again. Perfect. And just a background. Okay, so that. Okay. Less well. So, okay, got that. We can add in. Do that. This. That's fine. You kind of want to. A little bit better. Yeah, so now we need to kind of put in, because we don't have to have tiling necessarily, so we'll just leave that alone. Let's do just the color. Point. See, yeah. So yeah, on this I can just come. Realistic again. Keeping the thing out. A smidge better. Alright, and then this guy. A little bit lighter. Helps when you lock the pieces. You don't do what it is at the end. Actually, leave that back. So, yeah, oops. A bit carried on. Trying to use kind of complementary-ish colors to the character. Sorry, purplish, bluish, greenish colors. But they're toned way down comparatively. Kind of fires. Okay. Periwinkle blue. Okay, so we kind of like toned everything down. something? That helps. That way it's not just super bright. These are very stark now, but that's fine. There's not that down. Layer above that. Oops. Dark color there. Brush. That is. One here. Place that on. I go that way. So let's do. I'm just going to do one. Okay, and then over here. This layer. Set. These other ones here. Fine. Which one? Grab that. Okay. So now, real quick, that one, that one, that one. We're just gonna merge that. This one, this one. So now, Now, guess that. Yes. Oh, here. Some here. Run that back to the brush. Shadow the face. Separate dip there, just not separate. Oh. Oh, I drove over here. Yeah. Okay. Well, that looks pretty good now, right? Alright, so the background's kind of set up. Probably. That's kind of neat looking. Like you had a patterned thing. Happening. I hate that. Good. That's kind of I like one layer. That gives me superhero and who specifically kind of set up the energy. Jack Kirby. Yeah, Kirby. Yeah. So he's the one. I wish someone did it. He did. Whoa. Kind of faded almost now. Okay, definitely keeping it in some. Kind of gives it like that ashy kind of. Popping that you kind of get from the, yeah, it gives it more of a fire look already. I kind of like it. Put that on there. There it is. Oops. Mentally, didn't undo it. That's undo it. Yeah, I kind of like that. I don't know what that is necessarily. I don't know what's here. Okay, so real quick. So erase that out because I don't want it to be black on. Okay. Go a little bit more. That. Go back. Maybe a little darker. Acting. Well, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Alright. We can do it on, let's do it on a different one. Here. Okay, we're gonna call this smooth, but get this one more. too shabby. And boop. All right, so I think we've got that kind of nailed down. Not bad. But yeah, so we want to. Wait. Yeah. Oh, not terrible. Solid start. Those mess with stuff later. Don't care for. Adjust colors. But yeah, so there's that. So. Got that set up. Next time I will work on the shadows and highlights, characters, and then the background. Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Maybe even learned some stuff, which is fun. I think it's fun. It is what it is. Yeah, so I think we've got a really solid score on all of that, so we should be able to knock out the rest of this next. I don't know if I'll finish the card detail, but I'll definitely be able to knock out and highlight on everything. It won't be too big of a deal. This night, but thanks. It happened. All right. Well, again, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, all those things. If you want to see the progress on streams and stuff, you can always follow my social medias. Zann20 on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Kara, Tumblr. Post the progress from my stream after I'm done, and then before I go live I will post to all of those and TikTok, which is Zann20_art, and that just lets you know I'm going live. If I don't post a time-lapse of this stream that morning, aka Saturday, sometime before 10 a.m. Because that's when I live, Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So I don't know wherever that is, where you are. That's when I go live. But yeah, so it'll basically, that's your way of knowing, hey, I am going live. That time-lapse video. So it goes up on TikTok first, and then it goes out to all the other ones. Yeah. Pretty much sums it up, I guess. if there's anything else. So thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it, and hopefully see you guys next time. Later.